is good, my beautiful broken people? It's your boy Bentpinkeez, and are you working so hard that you're going so ham in the gym, but your body is so dead and sore, and you probably need a day to recover? So I'm here to help. We're gonna go through a full body walkthrough of a day of recovery. So we're gonna go through stability, mobility, myofascial release, and stretching, recovery stretching, all in one video. So strap in, grab your foam roller, and let's get started. Okay, we're gonna start with about 15 minutes of foam rolling. Start with your calf, start with your soleus, right? So we wanna work from bottom to the top. Place one soleus on the foam roller, and then you're gonna apply pressure by putting the other foot on top. Okay, so self-myofascial release, or releasing tension in the muscles because you probably overdid it this week or yesterday, right? So you need a day of recovery so that you can go back into the gym again and push harder again tomorrow. So that's what we're doing. So you're gonna go ahead, find a spot that hurts the most, and you're gonna hold it there, right? You don't wanna just roll around. Just find the spot, hold it there, let it release. You know, the pain can go from like an 8 to a 7, all right? You don't need the pain to go from like an 8 to a 0, because that ain't probably gonna happen, okay? So let's go ahead and do that for a little bit. Feel real good on this side. Okay, let's go to the other side. Place the other soleus on top. Apply pressure by putting the other foot on top. And then find that spot, that tender spot that hurts, right? And you hold it right there. Now, why is a recovery day important? Well, if your body has been overworked and broken down to the point of no return, and you still want to keep, being optimal in the gym or optimal in your sport or optimal period, you need a day of recovery. You need your body to be able to recuperate so that it can function again. Because if you don't want to overwork yourself, right? When you start overworking yourself, you're overtraining, then that's when injuries happen. And we all about not having injuries, correct? Correct. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the calves. So up top, roll the roller up. I'm going back onto my right side, roll the roller up to my calf, and you're gonna apply pressure again with the other foot, and then find that spot that hurts. I'm a little bit more towards my outer calf right now. You can search around, find a couple spots, and you wanna hold it there, okay? So yeah, I found my spot. It's real tender right there. Most athletes, right, you'll feel the tension on your outer calf because we're doing a lot of lateral movements, side-to-side movements. So your lateral calf or outer calf is going to be more tender because all that tension that you're using to brace the impact of moving side to side, right, with explosive movement. Okay, so after we're done with all the self-myofascial release, the foam rolling, all right, aka foam rolling, then we'll start doing our mobility exercises, which will be about a series of 10 to 12 exercises. We're gonna do 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, so 40 seconds of work, but it's not really intense. We're only doing one round all the way through, and then this back half will go into stability exercises. Got it? Okay, let's go to the other leg. Roll around the calf, find that spot that hurts, and you're gonna relax there, okay? So we wanna do the mobility stuff first because we wanna make sure our joints can move in its full range of motion. After it's done with its full range of motion, then we start doing the stability exercises so that we can get our joints and muscles to keep our body and joints where they're supposed to be, right? It's like fixing posture. You want to release the tension, you want to get the mobilization to get your joints to move in full range of motion, stretch the body out, or stretch the muscles out, and then stabilize the muscles so that it's allowed to stay in its correct position. There you go, find the spot. All right, and if you have any questions about today's recovery day walkthrough, comment down below, let me know, and I will do my best to help you out. Yeah, okay, so you good there? So let's move on to our hamstrings. Now, some of you may not be working your hamstrings enough. So we're gonna, like this, place our ankle on top, and then I'm gonna hover my butt off the ground, and I'm gonna roll towards my short head of the hamstring, biceps femoris. But if you do not work your hamstring enough, you probably won't feel this as much, okay? And if you do, then you're feeling this right now. I totally feel it. Your boy works the hammies, you know, them Nordic curls, hamstring curls, helps the knee out, okay? But also the hamstrings, the stronger your hamstrings are, the more explosive you can be, right? With like sprinting, jumping, all that. All right. Feel good? Yeah, so the main purpose of doing this full recovery day, for one, I need it, you need it, right? A lot of these workouts that we're doing or that I'm showing you, I'm going up and down, okay, not much there. We're gonna switch to the other leg. So a lot of these workouts that I'm having you do, or like you're doing on your own, right, is just killing you. And there's not a lot of recovery tools out there. I mean, if you have a recovery tool like if you don't have a foam roller and you have the massage gun, I have one too, but most people can get a foam roller. So I want to show you guys using the foam roller because it's more readily available, right? If you want more of a advanced version, or like more of a version where I'm doing mostly the massage gun, then I have a video like that also on the YouTube, so you can go look that up, or I'll link it somewhere up here. Okay, so when we're doing the exercises, I'll put the as always, I'll put the little box of the next workout up on the screen. So if I'm too busy explaining things, or I forget to explain the next workout, you'll be able to see it. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm really digging into this hamstring, man. Really worked those a lot these past couple weeks. So how often should you do recovery days? That's a good question. I'd like to get them in at least once a week, right? Because of the time constraints, I'm doing so many other things. But if you can get 2 recovery days in, that's gonna be super beneficial, because nobody's doing these tedious mobility work. No one's doing the tedious foam rolling all the time. Or we're going under glutes, okay? We're under glutes. Okay, so we're getting to that figure 4, and then we're rolling on our right side. So my left foot is on the ground, my right ankle is on top of my knee, and I'm rolling on my right glute, or piriformis area. So you get that little stretch of the glute, and then you're putting the roller on top of your glutes, and find the spot, hold it there. Okay? So yeah, I say ideally you want to get at least 2 full recovery days in. If you have to break it up in between the weeks, you can, but the most optimal for your body health and recovery, 2 days of full body recovery. We're not doing anything crazy, right? It gets a little harder as you get deeper into your programs and routines, but adding something like this in, obviously I switched. Okay, you saw I switched? Okay, so adding stuff like this in will ultimately help you perform better in the long run, help you have more longevity in fitness, health in the gym, especially, and also your joints. Okay, you'll probably recover a lot faster because we're doing a recovery day, so the whole point is to recover. So we're working from everything we're doing. We're working from the ground up, so from our feet all the way up to our head and neck area. So I'd like to work from that way because the feet are the foundation of our body, and that's where a lot of problems actually start to come from. So once we fix the feet first, everything else kind of falls into place, but you kind of have to do all the other work. So we're going into our hip flexors. So we're getting to the side plank right here, and then you see how my foot is my top foot is down on the ground like this. You're gonna drop that knee down. As you drop that knee down, you're kind of place the roller right where your hip flexor is, or your what I would like to call your front jean pocket. You know, right here. Okay, not the hip bone, right? The hip muscle. Got it? Okay, if you need to spend a little longer on the foam roller or certain muscles, it's okay too. We have about 5 minutes left, so we have only a few more things to do. Okay, so get the hip flexor. If we didn't get through everything, and we're gonna move on to the exercises, feel free to follow my full foam rolling routine. That's also on the my YouTube channel. Okay, and if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe. All right, I'm just here to help. Mostly because y'all need help. Okay, so we're gonna go to the other side. I will face you. You don't have to face me. Get that hip flexor. There you go. Okay, so because if you're doing a lot of sitting, this hip flexor is actually really tight, and you need to release this. Because if you think about it, if you're sitting all day, you're in that seated position, your hip is already flexed the whole time, so it's becoming tight throughout the day, throughout many hours of just sitting. So you want to release it as much as you can, so that you can help your posture out, you help your body, you know, feel a little bit more relaxed, right? Even though you're tensed in that seated position, so it's not good. Okay, so from here we're gonna go to our IT band. I'm gonna stay onto the left side because I'm already here, and we're gonna go back into the side plank, and then you're gonna roll the roller towards your knee, all right? And you should find that spot that hurts the most, and you hold it there. Okay, so the IT band is not a muscle, but there are muscles that run along underneath, you know, the side of your quads, vastus lateralis, stuff like that. So you want to release those guys as well. Okay. All right. If it hurts too much, go ahead and like ease off of it, but you know, just breathe. Okay. If you breathe, you can get through it. Okay. Good. Okay. Now we're going to go on to our other IT band. Go quickly. Boom. Okay. Start at your hip, roll towards your knee. Find that spot that hurts the most right there. Okay. Now, I'm just going to be silent for a little bit because this nice aeroplane is flying by. But there you go. Okay. So now we're going to go on to our quads. Okay. So very simple. We're going to start at the top of our knees, get into this full plank position, full prone position on your elbows. You're going to start at your knees, you're going to roll up towards your hip, find every spot that hurts and let it release. Relax your legs. There you go. Just find every spot on the way up. Okay? So, once we get into our first exercise, we're going into neck rotation. So I'm just going to have you stand up. But, you know, the video in the little corner will show you what neck rotations are. Okay. All right. So let's go on to our lats. So you're gonna place the roller right underneath your armpit. Extend that arm out. Really get those lats. They help allow your shoulders to release and help them go back to where they belong, which is in your shoulder socket, which basically helps your posture out. Okay? Because I do a lot of boxing or do a lot of like lat pull downs and pull ups, right? These lats will get sore. Okay, feel that? Good. And then we'll do the other side really quickly. I know there's a lot of other upper body muscles I wanted to get to. We will not really get into them, but we'll address them in the stretching portion of the recovery walkthrough. Okay, so we're gonna start with neck rotations. Go ahead and stand up, and then you're going to cross Wakanda Forever, and we're just gonna do tucking your chin and rotate your neck around. All right, get that neck to rotate all the way around. Keeping your chin tucked in. Do not move your body at all. Okay, we're just trying to get your neck to work in its full range of motion. Okay, you see that? As we move around. Good. Okay, so now we'll go shoulder rotations with the left. Bring your arm up, right? Rotate it, or your hand all the way back around and back forward. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Hand out, up, and back forward, and then all the way back. Okay, so chillax, and that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so left hand, keep your body straight. Good posture. Rotate your hand all the way down, tighten your core. Good, and then come back around. All the way up, rotate your hand, and then back around. See that? So we're trying to get your shoulders to move in its full range of motion without moving your body, right? Just get the shoulder to move, okay? The only other thing you're rotating is your wrist at the top. Good. Okay, so next we're going to move to the right side. I will put this foam roller away if you need a reminder of how to do things. I'll remind you. Okay, so keep your feet, toes point forward, back straight, tighten your core.
Round 3.
Bring that arm up, rotate the hand, around, back up. Rotate that hand up top, forward. Okay, we're just taking our delt and putting it through its full range of motion so that when we do exercises, again, it knows that it can move all around. And it helps with alleviating shoulder impingement, which is what we don't want. Finish this rotation. Good. Okay, so next is prone scapular protractions and retractions. So basically we're just on the floor and you're doing this. So you retract, protract, retract, protract, but you're in a push-up position. If you need to go on your knees, be my guest. Retract, protract, retract, protract. Okay, so again, we're getting our shoulders to learn or to realize it can move on its own, for one, but in multiple directions, and we're making sure it can still move in multiple directions. Okay? Yep. So this is also for those of you who are like, man, I don't want to just do a recovery day. I want to still work out and be active and stuff. Right? You can do stuff like this, be active, burn some calories. Okay? So next we have reach throughs. You can also go on walks, a light jog, nothing too crazy, because we want to actually induce recovery, not just put more energy output out there.
Round 5.
Okay, so reach through. Try to get your shoulders touch the ground. Reach through. So we're opening the back of the shoulder, but also getting our spine to rotate as well. Okay, because the trunk, or our main, our body, main body, trunk of the body, needs to be able to move and rotate as well. Because we're not just stiff, okay? We don't want to be stiff. We want to be able to move. Good. All right. So now we have cat-cows again to get the trunk of our body to be able to move, our spine to be able to mobilize, right? Our lower lumbar does not need to mobilize, it needs to stabilize. It's the spine, like cervical spine all the way to our thoracic spine, that should be getting most of the mobility work, okay? So you breathe out as you come up into this cat, and you breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Finish that one up. All right. Feeling good so far? Good. Okay, so now we'll move on to the hips. I know I jumped from, you know, down there up here, or we're going from the neck down. Okay, so now work the hips, knee circles. The left side first. Okay, all the way through its full range of motion. So you go all the way out, diagonal, and then all the way up, right? And then all the way in. You don't want to just do a half circle. You want to do that full rotation. Okay? It's okay if you cannot get its full rotation like what I'm doing here. If yours doesn't look like mine, then we need to keep doing this more so that you can get your hip to not be immobile. We want your hip to be as mobile as possible because, you know, your legs do move in multiple directions. Your hips do need to be able to move in that same vein, right? Your hips are part of your legs. They help you move. They help you squat. They help you do movements. The more, you know, resistant to motion you have, the higher chance you get injured. Okay? So the more immobile you are, the less, the more injury prone you are. Good. Keep your arms straight. It's the legs that, or it's the knee that's moving around. Okay? Knee circles. Okay, get it all the way around. It doesn't matter which direction you're going. I just like going clockwise, or that inward to outward movement first. You can go the other direction if you want. It's totally fine. Just make sure you're getting that full range out of your leg, out of your hips. Get that full rotation. Okay. Now we're gonna go into knees over toes lunge, right? Why the hell are we doing that? Because in athletics, right, we're not always just doing things with our knees like right over our ankle. Sometimes we're doing movements where our knees are over our toes, right? You can lift the back heel up. We're gonna just lean into this lunge, right? You're gonna hold it there, okay? Hold it there. And then we're gonna hold it there a little bit longer. Now that 20 seconds, we're gonna switch over. Okay, so just get our legs used to being, or our knees used to being in that overextended version, extended motion, right? You know what? You don't have to hold it forever. Right? I just want your knees and body to get used to that movement, right? Because, you know, in life and in sports, in activities, right, our knees tend to go over our toes no matter what. So you don't want to just train the traditional way. So we're going to go into single leg balance and reach on the left side first. So left foot on the ground, hands on your hips, stand up straight. Big circle with the opposite leg. Now we've moved on to stabilization. So we worked a mobilization from the neck all the way down. And now we're doing stability, right, to get our joints to stabilize from the foot all the way back up to our neck. Okay? Good. You guys are doing great. Okay? Stand up tall, hands on your hips, core tight. Keep your back straight. Make big circles. Stabilize through that left foot. Good. Nice. Okay, so ankle stability, the more stabilized your ankle is, the less chance of an ankle injury or sprained ankle or foot injury, right? The book also, you know, it helps with your knee health and body alignment, the more stable your ankles are. So we're gonna go to the other side. Ready?
Round 11.
Let's go. Good. Easy work. So, just focus on this balancing. One side may be more stable than the other. Just fight to keep them both the same or even as possible. All right. Now we're gonna go into single leg squat, right? So stabilize the knee. So you balance on one foot. Make sure you come down in more of a squat position and less of a hip hinge position, right? So we're not doing Romanians.
Round 12.
Or like single leg deadlifts. So you come down as low as you can, keep your back straight, you bend your leg, down and squat, slow and controlled. See how I'm bending through the leg mostly, going through the progression of a natural squat. Good. Okay, so my hip kind of hinges back a little bit, but I'm not going into a full deadlift. It's still a squat. And I'm stabilizing through the knee here as I'm going through the squat. There you go. Okay, now we'll go to the other side. See, pretty simple. It's good because then you start to feel all of your joints start to work and fire. That way, when you do things, you know, regularly, like doing both leg movements, you know, things are a lot more controlled, a lot more stable. Okay, so you're working to get to this point. Good. Whoop, whoop. Just a little stability, right? Go. Keep that back straight. And the leg. Down, try to touch your toe. If you can't go this far down, that's totally fine. Just go as far down as you can with control. All right. So now we're going to hip hikes, right? So all you do is go back to standing on one leg. You drive your opposite hip up. So the leg with the side with the leg elevated, that's the hip that's moving up and down. All right?
Round 14.
So it's going, my hip goes up and it's dropping down. Okay? Goes up and drops down. So we're working your hip in multiple directions, right? Because you have hip muscles that run this way. So we're trying to make sure all of them are nice and active to help stabilize the hips. You don't know, man. Your hips take a lot of impact. They do a lot of work. They sometimes, always, a lot of the time, they're also neglected. So don't neglect the hips, okay? Because you know what Shakira said. Hips don't lie. Okay, so stabilize through the hip, or stand up straight, all right? And then balance.
Round 15.
Drop the hip, raise it up. Drop the hip, raise it up. Okay? Some like to call it a hip hike. Some like to call it a hip drop. I don't care as long as you do it. And we will be good. Okay? Go. Easy. finish this here. Okay, so now we got fire hydrants. Okay, just like the knee circles, we get back into that position, you know, knees and hands and knees, tabletop position, right? But now just like a dog peeing, a male dog peeing, right?
Round 16.
Start with the left side. I'm always starting with my left side because that's my weaker side. So get more focus on the weak side. So just like a dog peeing, keeping your back straight, bring your knee out to the side as high as you can. Okay, working with the glutes and the hips at the same time. Keeping that knee bent at that 90-degree angle. Really squeeze out. Okay, you'll feel that tension as you come out and then come back in. Don't just move fast through this. You want to have as much control as possible. Right? Because if you just keep speeding through it, you have less control. The point is to have as much control over your body as possible. And in the long run, you'll have more control over your body. Okay? So, it's that connection. Get that connection to the rest of your body.
Round 17.
And you'll be able to connect your mind to your body. The more that you can control, the better it is. I feel like I just repeated myself in a different way, but who cares? Sometimes things are worth repeating. Squeeze, come back. Okay? Ultimately, right, whether you feel good or bad after this, just know you're doing the right thing, bettering yourself. It's always good to better yourself. It's never a bad thing. Okay, so now we're going into a leg whip. We're going to work with adductors. I know this is a very new, weird thing. Okay, so you're going to lift your hip up, right, and then we're going to start my left leg.
Round 18.
Lift your hip up, left leg out, and you're going to bring that leg out and swing it back in. Bring your arms out to the side if you need more stability, and you're going to swing it back in. Keep your hip hiked up or hip thrusted up, whip your leg out and whip it back in. So you see that activation of your adductors. Okay? Squeeze in. And as you're doing that, you're also activating them glutes to stabilize up top. Okay? So killing two birds, one stone. Efficiency. Right? See? So we're all about efficiency, trying to get as many things done as possible in this allotted time. Okay, so arms out in that T formation. We're going to drive our hip up off the ground, raise that leg up, right leg up.
19.
Whip it to the side. Boom. Bring it down to the side laterally. Keep that leg as straight as possible. Bring it up. Okay? If you have trouble keeping that hip driven up, hip thrusted up, you can go ahead and do this with your hip on the floor. But do your best to try to, thrust up. Keep your core tight. There you go. Really reach, bring it up. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to bird dogs. Stabilize through the back of our body. Connect the left and the right side together. Keep everything nice and stable and strong. Back into this tabletop position.
Round 20.
Left arm out, right leg out. Opposite leg, opposite arm goes out. Elbows and knees touch each other. If you can, do your best and extend straight out, right? Make sure it's out in a straight line. You don't want anything going lower, right? You gotta work, okay? You should feel this in your right leg, or right glute, right lower back, and then your left shoulder. Nice. Fantastic. Yeah, so you don't know, right? When you're doing a lot of like movements or walking and stuff, your left side actually connects to the right. Your left lower back actually connects to the right leg.
Round 21.
So the opposite. So if you're like putting a lot of impact on your right leg, right? Your left lower back, your left QL is the one taking a lot of the impact. Yeah? So we're going to make sure one side does not overtake the other by doing exercises like this. So we maintain that strength, that equality on both sides of our body. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go into reverse snow angels, all right, or prone swimmers, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so lie down and right, keeping your upper body as high up as possible. Make sure your hands do not touch the ground. Your thumbs rotate to touch your butt, and they rotate to touch each other. Okay, your palms, they swim. So thumbs touch each other at the top, thumbs touch your butt. Try to keep your upper body as high up as possible. Contract that core, squeeze your glutes, keep your feet on the ground. Tucking that chin, elongate the neck.
Recovery complete.
Okay. So, recovery has been completed. Now we're going to go on to our recovery stretches. We're going to start with the front splits. Okay? So, I like doing the front splits because, so here, if you need to get into front splits a little easier, go into that runner's lunge. Okay? And then you're going to drive your front foot forward, or you drive that back leg back, right, to extend that stretch. Okay? So I like doing the front splits because we're all about efficiency, right? So I'm getting the hip flexor on the right side, but I'm also getting that hamstring on that left side. You see how my leg is kind of bent? That means the hamstring is way too tight. All right, if I straighten the leg and I pull a little bit more on my lower back, we don't want that. Keep that leg bent if you need to, but if you're more flexible, then go ahead and straighten the leg. But this is as far as I'm gonna get for now. As we progress, hopefully this goes farther and farther down, right? So we're gonna hold this stretch, and then, I'll just talk to you guys about stuff. So, how did you enjoy the recovery? I wouldn't really call it a workout, it's like a recovery day, progression or recovery. Okay, we'll call it recovery workout, whatever. Because we did the foam rolling, okay? That's like giving yourself a massage to release the muscle tension, right? Because you gotta remember to get your, through like, there's like a few phases of stretching or mobility. You need to release the tension, okay? Phase 1, release muscle tension. Phase 2 is re-lengthen the muscle. And then phase 3 is activation, right? So First you want to inhibit the muscle, which is releasing the tension, massaging it. Then you want to go into re-lengthening the muscle, which is like strengthening. But we're doing re-lengthening right now, right? Because we want to get that mobility, right? So we're doing mobility stuff. So that's helping re-lengthen, but also increasing blood flow so that our body's not cold. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Okay, I'll start up top here. Okay, so we'll do the other way, and I'll just crawl my back leg, scooch my back leg back, and now I'm in that front splits. Okay, so we went, and then we did activation, and now we're in a little bit more elongation or re-lengthening of the muscle to help recover, but also, right, our muscles it's a lot easier for our muscles to stretch if there's more blood flow or if the body's more warm. Because imagine like trying to stretch a rubber band that just came out the freezer, right? Higher chance you're gonna just pull something or it's gonna hurt. So we don't want that. That's why I saved the recovery stretching till after we did all those exercises. So we started with like mobility work to get our body to get our joints to work within its full range of motion. Afterwards, then we worked on stability, which allowed our joints to, hold its position. Okay? Breathe. Okay, so you see that this hamstring really tight. Eventually I want to get this splits to be, fully the splits, but we're getting there. We work towards it, right? It's all about the journey. Yeah, it's all about the journey, but we're trying to reach an end goal, but you know how it goes in the fitness game. Once you reach a goal, there's always another goal. Okay, so let's go into regular splits. So I'm gonna start here, bring one leg out to the side, other leg also out to the other side. And then we slowly open up. Okay? So, also if I'm like doing more like martial arts training, just dabbling a little bit, because I used to do like Taekwondo, so I used to be able to kick a lot better, kick a lot higher. Kind of want to get back into it. It's funny how like you don't do things for you used to do something, you haven't done things for a long period of time. All of a sudden you want to do it again, but you haven't trained for it or you haven't done it in a while, and it's just like not to your standards. So now I wish I like kept up with some of it so that I can. A lot of it is actually really good if I kept up with it, because then I would have kept my flexibility, I would have kept my mobility, but my leg health would have been a lot better. My leg strength and speed would have been a lot better. Go ahead and try to open up a little bit more. Yeah, I remember when I was doing the splits before, when I was in Taekwondo. Mind you, I was like, it's gotta be like middle school when I was doing Taekwondo. So obviously a little bit more limber. My splits was pretty much all the way down, but we'll get there. Okay, you guys done with the splits? Okay, so now we're gonna go into a quad stretch. So runner's lunge. Okay, working on this side, this way first. So left foot in front, back knee down. Okay, now you're gonna lift your right leg up, grab your right ankle with your right hand, and stretch the quad. So squeeze your right glute to extend the stretch. You get a little bit of an active stretch as well as a passive stretch at the same time. And then your left hand is down and you're leaning into the stretch. Okay? Good. So now you feel that stretch on the quad. Okay? I know this is a long video, but if you can finish all of this, just finish the video, right? And basically you can say you did everything you needed to do within a recovery day, right? We got your foam rolling in, which is what I tell all my clients to do all the time, right? You gotta release the tension in the muscles. We got your mobility exercises in, right? Get your body to move in its full range of motion. Get your joints to move in its full range of motion. We did your stability exercises. Some people don't like doing those tedious stability exercises. We'll go ahead and switch sides. Grab that ankle. And then remember to squeeze that left glute. Drive your hip forward a bit. Feel that stretch, right? All these tedious exercises, those non-sexy movements, right? No one likes doing this in the gym. They feel like it's a waste of time, not a good use of their time in the gym at all or when they're working out, but guarantee you, you do this a couple times a week, you're just gonna feel a lot better. You're gonna you're gonna feel a lot more efficient when you do your exercises, when you do your sports. When you play your sports. Okay? You're gonna be able to move better, feel better, all right? And that's the ultimate goal, to be able to just, you know that feeling of like why kids feel young and they don't have to warm up and they go straight into their workouts, or they go straight into their sports. It's because their body is like, they don't have any problems. They haven't built up a lot of tension. They haven't built up years of injuries or, bad habits. So their body's just ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to cow legs. So, oh man, something's really up in my throat. Okay, so cow legs. Bring that right knee over to the left side, spread your feet wide, and sit back. I think it's because I've been talking the whole time and my water is over there and I don't want to go get it. But yeah, that's the feeling that you want, to be able to just jump into something without needing, yes, you want to warm up properly, you want to do all the necessary things to keep your body safe, but if your body is nice and loose, ready to go at all times, whether you're young or old, you can do it. So, and that's what's pretty much helped me recently, right? When I started doing a lot of stretching, doing all these mobility exercises, stability exercises, getting my body right. Now I can go play sports. I don't really need to warm up, but I warm up because it's the right thing to do now. But if I really needed to, jump in and play a couple games of hoops, jump in and box, jump in whatever, or just lift, I can go straight into it. And that is something that I really enjoy. It's so much nicer when you have peace of mind that you can just, oh, hey, you wanna play? Oh no, wait, I gotta warm up. No, you don't have to do that anymore. Just, oh, you wanna go play? Yeah, let's go. Okay, switch. So, yeah. Switch sides. Okay, I know I didn't really explain the cow legs on this side, but you should know I do the cow legs a lot on my channel. So if you don't know how to do these by now, that's your own bad. Yeah. I like doing the cow legs because they help open up the hips a lot. They help open the glutes, especially if you use your hips and your glutes a lot when you're doing exercises, you're playing sports, or if you're just sitting, right? This helps because you want to get that. Eventually, you want to get this knee to be closer to the ground, right? But we're not there yet. So even now with my body the way it is, it's not as flexible as I want it to be, but at this point I can pretty much do whatever I want to do, which is a good feeling. So once you get to that point where you feel like you can do pretty much whatever you want to do, obviously I can't do like crazy ninja things yet. We're getting there though, we're getting there. But I'm at a good spot. Okay, but the work is never done. We want to keep moving forward. Okay, so now we got child's pose, left and right side. Okay, so get down to that child's pose, extend those arms forward. We're gonna stretch the lats. We're gonna go to the left side, bring both arms to the left side, and now you feel that stretch on your right latissimus dorsi muscle. Breathe. Other side, the right side. So left side, strong side, right side, right side. Name that movie. Left side, or right side, strong side. It's a good movie. Should watch that again. Okay. So now we're gonna go into Cobra. Come down. Drive your hips down. Keep your abs tight. Squeeze your glutes. Keep your shoulders. Drive your shoulders down. Head up. Feel that stretch through the abdominals. Okay. Now we're going to stretch our forearms. So from here, you're going to rotate your hands this way, place them firmly down onto the ground, and you're going to stretch your flexors. As you know, I like stretching the flexors because since we're on our computers a lot, right? Doing a lot of typing, using our mouse and stuff, the flexors do get a lot of tension into them, so I want to open these guys up. Okay. Good. Okay. Now we're going to go into. What the hell are we going into? Oh, right. Okay. So now from here, you're going to sit on your heels. You're going to interlock your fingers behind your back. All right. We're going to pull your shoulders back, open up the chest, right? Then you're gonna lean forward and bring your arms up as high as you can. Breathe. Okay, now from there we're going to stretch our low back, so go ahead and sit cross-legged, facing this way, back is straight. I'm going to drop my left elbow down to the ground, keeping both my butt cheeks down on the ground, and then I'm placing my right hand in front of my legs, or right where my shin is, so that I can anchor myself. Keep my back straight, neck straight, and driving my both my glutes into the ground, and now I should feel that stretch in my low back on that right side. Okay, so you should feel that stretch on that low back on that right side. Hold it there. Okay. So this is gonna be weird because like you'll see one side may be tighter than the other. I like to hold it a little bit more on my right side. My right side seems to be a little tighter than my left. You can go ahead and see the difference. Okay, but we're gonna move over to the left side, the right side. Right, so right elbow down, keep both butt cheeks down. You're gonna feel that stretch on your low back on the left side. Keep your back straight, neck straight. I have to tell myself to. I have to remind myself of those things. Okay, so for me, the left side is not as tight, but I'll just stay just as long for you guys. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to finish off this recovery stretch with a T-spine rotation. So arms out to the side, bring that right leg up and over. And then you're gonna use your left hand, grab the knee and help guide it down. Drive your hip down towards your foot, your left foot, right? So that way you open up through the hip and you feel a bit more stretch through your obliques. And then now you want to keep your right shoulder and right elbow and wrist and knuckles down on the ground. That way you feel that stretch through the chest as well. Yeah. See that? Feel that nice stretch, huh? This is really good. Every time I have my clients do this, they really enjoy this stretch. But, you know, it's one of those stretches where you're like, wow, you feel the tightness, but you feel it working. You feel like you're gonna get better after this. But you gotta do it. You gotta do it often. And be consistent. The discipline is key, right? You can have all the motivation in the world to do something, but that motivation is like a match, right? It burns bright, but it burns only for a few seconds. So go ahead and switch to the other side. Left leg up and over and down. Try to keep your, and then grab your knee, drive it down. Try to keep your left hand down and left shoulder down on the ground on the other side. And then drive your left hip down towards your right foot. Increase that stretch. Okay? If you need to, if you want to, you can go ahead and look to the left side. I'm just gonna look at you because I want to talk. You know, like, wow, how can you talk so much? I'm like, well, I got a lot of information to give, you know? Yeah, so like a match, it burns bright, right? But it only burns for a few seconds. That's like motivation, right? What you need is discipline. Discipline is like a light bulb, right? Discipline stays on until you want to turn it off, pretty much. But it's pretty much, once you press it on, it's on. It ain't turning off unless, like, you know, something happens. But yeah, so that's the metaphor. Motivation is great, right? Motivation is great, but you need to have discipline. Find a way to get yourself find a way to achieve self-discipline. That's going to get you farther in life. Okay, well, we are done with the full body recovery day walkthrough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you feel better. If you don't feel better, did you even do it? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. Alright, I'm doing this out of the goodness of my own heart. Now, don't forget to visit Bentpinkeez.fit to get you some sweet gear. And as always, your boy, Bentpinkeez, out.